I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Matt Duchesne of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Yotes of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Ryan Johansson of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get started with the no half-step in hockey coverage, let me direct you to our home website of renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you want to know about the show and the podcast. And once you're done with that, you can click on that merchandise tab. And that's where you'll find our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, and about 7 other different brands of our own t-shirts. Don't worry, we have all the other gimmicks you've come to know and love from the Renegades of Puck: socks, throw pillows, wall art. It doesn't matter. We've sold out so that you can buy in. You can outfit your entire house over the holiday season with Renegades of Puck gear, and we sure would appreciate if you would do that. Social media is an easy way for you to help us out here on this operation. You can find us on a myriad of social media platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and also TikTok. You can find the show on YouTube. You can also find the audio podcast on a multitude of platforms out there. Please help us out on each and every one of those. It doesn't cost you anything, and it doesn't take you but a second to go ahead and give us a like, a subscription, leave a comment, so we sure do appreciate it. It goes a long way to helping us out here in building out the operation to where we want to ultimately get to. You can become a partner of the show by going to Venmo and searching Renegades of Puck, or you can just scan the QR code that's currently on your screen. Thanks to generous renegades like you, we have been able to upgrade significant amounts of equipment here in the bunker, and we are continuing on with those operations. So again, thank you so much. We sure do appreciate the help. Independent hockey coverage, independent small business, it's not the easiest thing in the world to keep rolling when it comes to the funds, and you guys are helping us keep the lights not only plugged in, but upgraded and looking good. So again, stick taps, love, and respect. Now, it's time for me to deliver the no half-step in hockey coverage, so let's get to it. It's operation number 678 for the Renegades of Puck. That's right, show number 678. In this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 5th place in the Central Division. 19 games played already on the season. They are over 500 with a record of 9-8-2. They have 20 points. That has them 5 points behind the first place Dallas Stars, 3 points behind the second place Colorado Avalanche, and third place Winnipeg Jets, and they are tied statistically in points with the St. Louis Blues, but they have played more games than St. Louis. So the Preds find themselves in 5th place, Minnesota in 6th, Chicago in 7th, Arizona is in 8th place. The Nashville Predators' next game will take place on the road. The Preds currently have a road record of 3-5-0. On the season, they've scored 53 goals. They've given up 62. That's a goal differential of -9. Once the Preds finish up this one-game road trip to Detroit, they will be back home against Colorado on Friday, Saturday against Columbus Blue Jackets, and the 29th, closing out the month of November against the Anaheim Ducks. They'll welcome in the month of December with a road trip to New Jersey on December the 1st, and then on December the 2nd, they'll be in New York to take on the Islanders. Preds and the Red Wings will meet one more time this season. It will take place on March the 14th here at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. The Red Wings currently have a record of 9-5-4. They have 22 points on the season. They are 4th overall in the Atlantic. Their home record is 5-2-2. They have a goal differential on the season of +1. Taking a look at their most recent 5-game stretch, go back to November the 10th. It was an 8-2 loss versus the New York Rangers, but then on the 12th, a 4-3 loss at the LA Kings. On the 15th, it was a 3-2 overtime loss at Anaheim. On the 17th, a 7-4 win at San Jose. On the 19th, a 6-1 win at the Columbus Blue Jackets. Husso was 27 out of 28 in that victory. So the Red Wings have turned things around recently and have won 2 games in a row. Injuries certainly becoming a problem now for the Nashville Predators. Last couple of games now, Trenin and Jankowski have been unavailable. Borowiecki, of course, has been on injured reserve for quite some time. Taking a look inside the NHL ranks and the numbers for these two teams in comparison. Goals for the Nashville Predators at 2.68, 27th in the NHL, while Detroit is 14th, best in the NHL at 3.28 per game. Detroit's also 14th in the NHL in goals against at 3.17, while the Preds are 16th, giving up 3.21 per game. In shots on goal, the Preds are ahead in this metric, 30.2 generated on net per game. That is 22nd in the NHL, while Detroit is 30th. The Preds have given up 32.7 shots against per game. That is 19th in the NHL, while Detroit is at 18th. Special teams matchup right here. The power play for the Nashville Predators, 13 of 75 on the season, 17.3% conversion rate. That's 28th in the NHL. The Red Wings have the 17th best power play in the NHL, 14 out of 67, or 20.9%. Penalty kill, the Preds do have a very respectable number 7 overall rating in the NHL, killing off 81.4%. They've given up 13 power play goals on the season, while the Wings are 13th in the NHL, 79.6%. They've given up 11 power play goals against. Each of these teams, of course, have highly skilled individuals. So let's get you the stats. Let's start with the home team, Detroit Red Wings, in this matchup. Larkin is leading the team in scoring with 8 and 14 for 22. Kubalik is at 9 and 12 for 21. Perron 6 and 9 for 15. Perron's had a very good and long career against the Nashville Predators. Roenick 4 and 10 for 14. Raymond 6 and 6 for 12. Husso in net 7, 2 and 3 and 9.16 save percentage, 2.55 goals against average. Now on the Nashville Predators side of things, Philip Forsberg maintains his point per game pace this season, 7 goals and 12 assists, 19 points on the year. Captain Roman Josi now second on the team in scoring, 4 goals and 12 assists for 16 points. Matt Duchene has 5 goals and 10 assists for 15 points. Mikael Granlund 2 and 13 for 15. Niederreiter leads the team in goals at 9. Add 2 assists to that. That's 11 points overall. On the season, UC Saros 7-6 and 2 and 9.05 save percentage and a 3.06 goals against average. These numbers are starting to look a little bit better after this most recent homestand. And Lankinen 2 and 2 in net, 9.21 save percentage, 2.60 goals against average. I do think he gets the start against the Detroit Red Wings. He has to play at some point in time. There is also a back-to-back coming up for the Nashville Predators this upcoming Thanksgiving weekend. That gets you all set up for the Nashville Predators versus the Detroit Red Wings. We'll take a look back now at the Nashville Predators closing out their homestand against the Arizona Coyotes. It'll be the Rebirth Sports full game recap, and it's coming up next. Rebirth Sports, I urge each and every one of you to check out their work at REBIRTHsports.com or find them on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You see me wearing the road jersey right here in the bunker. You see me wearing the home jersey, the third jersey. You've also seen the myriad of jerseys that I have from Rebirth Sports for league play and for tournament play and charity events. Rebirth Sports delivers the goods each and every time. Every time I wear their threads, people stop and ask me where I got them from, and it's Rebirth Sports. I urge you, check them out. They know how to take your visions and make them reality. And they are not just jersey makers, they are hockey tailors. Rebirth Sports. Time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to 11-21-22 when the Nashville Predators were taking on the Arizona Coyotes. John Hines deploys his lines in the following way: Forsberg, Parson, Granlund, Niederreiter, Johansson, and Duchene. Sanford, Glass, Janot, Smith, Sissons, McCarron make up your forward groupings. McDonough and Josi continue on the first pairing. Ekholm and Carrier, and then Luzon and Fabro make up your defensive pairings. UC Saros getting kind of a surprising start in net against the last place Arizona team on the final game of the homestand. We're 1:33 into the first period, and Hayton's off the box 2 minutes for tripping. Ingram comes up with a save on Johansson, first shot on goal of the game for the Nashville Predators. Ingram then comes up with a save on Granlund's deflection from the slot. 4:02, the Nashville Predators will get another opportunity as Valimaki's off the box 2 minutes for interference. Ingram would come up with a big stop on Sissons on the doorstep. The Preds 0 for 2 will get a third opportunity on the power play at 6:35 of the first period. Schmaltz is off the box 2 minutes for elbowing. Ingram would come up with a save on Yosi's one-timer, and that's when Mikael Granlund, his second goal of the season, gives the Nashville Predators a 1-0 lead over the Coyotes. It was a rebound put back on Philip Forsberg's heavy one-timer from out there in the face-off circle. Mikael Granlund going to the hard areas and getting rewarded here for the Nashville Predators. 1 for 3 on the power play, and we're only 7.5 minutes into the game. 7:26 of the first period, UC Saros comes with a save on Keller. That's Arizona's first shot on goal, but believe me, over the next stretch of action, you're going to get tired of hearing this. UC Saros comes with a save at 12:30 on Stetcher. Then at 13:05, Saros a save on Chychrun. 14:35, Saros a save on Stetcher. 16:37, Stars a save on Schmaltz with the pad, extended the leg along the goal line, and comes up with an incredible save right here. UC Saros absolutely being tested here in the second half of the first period. 16:53 of the first. Brown beats the absolute dog out of Cole Smith after Cole Smith delivered the big hit in the corner. We hit the end of the first period. Arizona's out shooting Nashville 12-11 after the first period, and they outshot the Preds 8-4 after the Preds scored that goal. UC Saros holds the line. 1:49 into the second period, UC Saros comes up with a save on Schmaltz. 4:32. Ingram comes up with a save on Parsonen at close range. At 8:50, Krause ties the game at 1 apiece with the 7th goal of the season. It was a snipe off the rush, and Arizona is absolutely out-competing the Nashville Predators now for a solid 15 straight minutes of this game. 10:15 in the second period, Ingram comes up with a save on Forsberg. Granlund has a rebound jam opportunity. Dan Heinold being interviewed by the broadcast crew at this time. He drops the quote that the team is uninterested. I like Dan Heinold, and I like his obvious forthrightness when it comes to talking about the team. He was absolutely right. The Nashville Predators were backing themselves into a trap game right here after getting out to a fairly good start early in the first period. 12-11 in the second period. Dante Fabro's off to the box. 2 minutes for tripping. Shelley comes up and hits the post at this point. Strong pressure by the Coyotes throughout their power play. 15:56, Bukestad breaks through, giving Arizona their first lead of the game. His second goal of the season. It was a 5-star stave by UC Saros, but he comes disconnected from the post with the blade, and the rebound jam behind the goal line is able to find its way into the back of the net. Arizona Coyotes lead the Nashville Predators 2-1 at Bridgestone Arena. 17:21 in the second period. Johansson and Nemeth off the box, matching Miners. We'll see a 4-on-4 scenario. That's when at 18:31, Ingram comes up with a save on Ekholm after Yotes goes behind the net, comes out with a feed from the opposite post below the goal line. Sick feed, really good scoring opportunity. Great save by Connor Ingram. Great hockey all around. Stick taps at everyone. 19:37 of the second period. Ingram was able to save on Fabro. No traffic. That means it's an easy save, but one off, easily turned off to the side. Nashville, 24 shots on goal. Arizona, 18 shots on goal. But it's the quietest 13 shots for the Predators that you're ever going to experience throughout the second period. We hit the third period. The Nashville Predators need some momentum. They need to bring the jam, and that's absolutely going to get started immediately. 27 seconds in. Shelley's off the box. 2 minutes for tripping on Alex Carrier. That's when the captain, Roman Josi, goes to work. His fourth goal of the season comes off of a heavy shot from the blue line. Granlund taking away the eyes of the goaltender and setting the traffic in the screen in front. Absolutely execution by the Nashville Predators right here, tying the game up at 2 apiece. Then, 1:31 of the third period, Matt Duchene's fifth goal of the season. From the low circle, he was crashing that hard. Colton Sisson sets up the play from below the goal line. The Nashville Predators, just like that, have a 3-2 lead and have their 1-goal lead back. 3:57 in the third period, Josi hits the post. The Preds are now interested in this game, and it is obvious. This is the best stretch of hockey that they have had in this entire game. 5:14 in the third period, Ingram comes up with the save on Sanford. 7 minutes in, Chikrin's off to the box for 2 minutes. Glass would hit the post. That would be the Nashville Predators' best opportunity in this power play. 11:37 in the third period, Valimaki off the box. 2 minutes for high sticking. Short-handed goal by Bukestad. Snipe wrist shot off of the rush. The Nashville Predators' disappointing power play disappoints to the max right here as Arizona ties the game up at 3 apiece. 15:05 into the third period, Sisson hits the post. Rebound is stopped by the D before it can be put back towards the net. 15:52, Saros comes up with 2 huge saves at close range. Third period has gotten so interesting and exciting, we have to flip it all the way over to the back sheet, and we seem to be far from done here. 17:08 of the third period, Sanford's off the box, 2 minutes for interference in the offensive zone. It's a strong PK. Alex Carrier in particular has a very good shift. We at the end of regulation with the Nashville Predators out shooting the Arizona Coyotes 37-27 into the overtime session. The Nashville Predators are about to be dominant. 25 seconds in, Ingram comes up with a save on Johansson. 45 seconds in, Josi 45 seconds in, Josi hits the crossbar off of deflection. 2:10 into the overtime session. Krause is off the box, 2 minutes for holding. We see a 4-on-3 power play for the Predators. Ingram has to come up with a save on Forsberg. Josi hits the crossbar from out high. 4:59. Ingram comes up with one more save on Duchene. At the end of the overtime session, the Nashville Predators have 46 shots on goal. Arizona has 27. That means 9-0 in the overtime session in favor of the Nashville Predators. Connor Ingram holds the line. We go to the shootout, and a highly impressive shootout that it was. Granlund and Schmaltz are stopped immediately, but then Duchene, Bukestad, Forsberg, Keller, they all convert. Johansson converts. Ritchie converts. Josi, Michelli, Parson, and Boyd cannot. Then we find Glass finally converting in the 7th round for the Nashville Predators. Ingram bobbles it, and it rolls in. And then we see Gauthier not be able to convert. UC Saros comes up with a save. Saros goes 4 of 7 in the shootout. The Nashville Predators win 4-3 in the shootout. Ingram faces 53 total shots on goal, including the shootout. And Connor Ingram absolutely put up an outstanding performance in his return to Bridgestone Arena. I know a lot of people really like Connor Ingram. They would have liked that he could stay here. And he had another performance just like that at Bridgestone Arena during the playoffs last season. Played well above his numbers, played well above expectation, and overall put up a very solid performance at Bridgestone Arena. Very respectable game for Connor Ingram. UC Saros ends up getting the victory, but UC Saros perhaps underperformed a little bit, but he performed when needed. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. That's the Rebirth Sports full game recap. The Nashville Predators come away with 9 out of 10 points on their 5-game homestand, only losing 1 point to the Tampa Bay Lightning. We'll have full analysis in the Renegades of Puck, and that comes up next. Strong Style Fitness. I urge and encourage every one of you to check out strongstylefit.com or find Strong Style Fitness on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter. An incredible partner here to the Renegades of Puck. Listen, in a world that's gotten incredibly expensive, personal training has become even more difficult, I am sure, for you to fit into your budget. We have fixed that here for you, and that's through the partnership with Strong Style Fitness. 150 workouts by a certified personal trainer, loaded up on a YouTube page and ready for you on demand. Renegades of Puck, whether it's your first workout, your first time getting off the couch, or you've been at it for years, Tracy has a workout that is designed specifically for you. Check out the different playlists. Get yourself motivated. They're all highly instructional, self-contained, and you will see the results if you stick with it. I know it. I've experienced it for myself, and I've seen plenty of other Renegades of Puck experience it as well. Strong Style Fitness, great partners of the Renegades of Puck. UC Saros was 24 out of 27 in this game, 4 out of 7 in the shootout, and he held the line when the team was disinterested in doing that very thing. The Nashville Predators almost backed themselves into a trap, and their netminder was what kept them out of it. UC Saros' numbers continue to turn in the right direction, get more respectable. Now a .905 save percentage and a winning record on the season. That's good news for the Nashville Predators, as UC Saros seems to be turning things around. The captain, Yotes, with the goal and assist, 8 shots on goal, 30-07 time on ice. Dominant performance by the captain. He also hit the crossbar. He looked great out there. He was controlling the play, and he was leading his team, and that's an incredible amount of time to be out there on the rink. Nashville Predators have a hell of a captain out there, and his offense has truly turned around. Now 16 points in 19 games on the season. Mikhail Granlund with a goal and assist in this game, 24-35 time on ice. No, that actually did not lead the forwards, but he was a strong presence around the net. That's the note that I wanted to make. He was going into the hard areas, and he was getting rewarded. He also had other opportunities to make plays in the slot area and on top of the crease in this game. It was great to see Mikhail Granlund out there, absolutely bringing the jam. For Glass, great to see him back in the lineup. Even better, he gets the shootout game-winning goal in the 7th round of the shootout. I made the note, it's just nice to see. He's a good player, and a lot of people really want to see him succeed. And for Nashville Predators fans, it was great to see him. And for Glass, I'm sure it felt really good. It's going to be a nice boost to his confidence to get out there and get the shootout game-winning goal. And I have to talk about Dan Highnote. He talked about the team being disinterested. They went into that second intermission, and they came out a totally different team. They almost backed themselves into a trap. We talked about this being a trap game going in, but the Preds had a 1-0 lead. They were not playing at the start of this game as if it was going to be a trap game. But once they got that one goal, they started pulling the chute, and they started backing themselves right into a trap, and it almost happened right there. Dan Highnote, you have to give credit, noting the team was disinterested in public on the broadcast. I can only imagine what was said behind closed doors in between periods, because the team came out completely different. Now, the note I made from here is, did they learn from the Tampa Bay Lightning just a couple of nights ago? We made that notation, and we had that discussion here a couple of nights ago. What could the Predators take away from losing that lead against Tampa Bay in the third period and falling in overtime? Well, they can take away learning how to win like a professional team, the way the Tampa Bay Lightning has been doing for years now. And the Nashville Predators, when the time came to it tonight, they were able to handle the business and secure the victory and get the 2 points on home ice. Again, this homestand has been far from pretty, and there have been very few style points that you can talk about. All 1-goal games for the Nashville Predators, but they got 9 out of 10 points. And it was a successful homestand, and they have turned the corner. So did they learn something from Tampa Bay? Well, they didn't back into that trap, and they came away with the 2 points. So I guess they did learn something about how to finish out and close out a game. They certainly didn't play a full 60 minutes. They probably only played about 27, 30 minutes of this game total, but they were able to escape tonight. Arizona gets themselves the point. Arizona played good. They played hard, and they're a tough out. You cannot take them lightly. They're an NHL team. They've got NHL talent, and they are certainly more difficult than their record or their points may indicate to play against. They're good special teams units as well. And finally, the Preds, 9 out of 10 on the homestand, turn the corner. They're over 500 now. We talked about when they came back from that long road trip, how disappointing things were going, and if they really dug in hard on this homestand, things really broke the right way, well, maybe they'd find themselves at over 500. There were a lot of qualifiers in that because, well, I mean, let's face it, it didn't seem like that was necessarily going to happen. There were a lot of good opponents coming up on this homestand. A lot of good hockey came through Bridgestone Arena. But the Preds managed to pull it off, 90% of the points, 9 out of 10 on this homestand, and they're now over 500 with a record of 9-8-2. They have 20 points on the season. They're only 5 points out of first place behind the Dallas Stars. So for the Nashville Predators, now they have an opportunity to go into Detroit and take on their original rival, the Detroit Red Wings, in what I hope is going to be a fantastic game the night before Thanksgiving. Now, I have my doubts about that, a one-game road trip the night before a big holiday. I don't know what we're going to see necessarily from that game, but I sure hope it's a good game. But I have to go back and talk a little bit more. We got some analysis from the Renegades of Puck. He is the one and only Sean C. Smith from A to Z Sports. You can find him on Twitter at SCSNSH. He was at the game tonight, and I sure do appreciate Sean jumping in the trenches and filing this report late on a Monday night.
Thanks, Charlie. Hey, Renegades. It's Sean C. Smith, and we're going to talk about the thrilling 7-round shootout overtime victory the Predators had over the Arizona Coyotes. And I want to say this. We're going to spend our time together talking about 3 guys. They're all young guys, the first of which is Cody Glass. Now, let's say this. Cody Glass, back in the lineup after what we'll call an extended break, a healthy scratch for quite a while, found his way back into the lineup, and it seems like he's slowly moving his way up the ranks a little bit. Not that I think line really matters after the second line, but you saw a lot of the guys who play on that second line shifting down to play on some other lines, Cody Glass moving up to play with some other guys. But the reality is the lines are kind of fluid right now. The important thing is Glass has been in the lineup for several nights in a row now, and that's what really matters. And it seems like he's playing with some confidence. Now, before I talk about what happened in the game, I'm going to talk about what happened in overtime, because Glass was, of course, the last guy in the shootout in the 7th round to score on Connor Ingram, of which the old Coyotes couldn't answer, which meant the Predators went ahead and got the extra point there and took the victory. Now, what's interesting is after the game, had a chance to talk to Cody Glass. And, of course, what's interesting here is that if you think about it, there's probably no one on the team right now, except maybe Cole Smith, who played more with Connor Ingram than Cody Glass. In fact, they were in Milwaukee the pretty much entire season last season, and if anyone's going to know Connor Ingram and what his tendencies are, that's Cody Glass. And that's exactly what Cody Glass talked about. Was he really said that he wished he didn't just have the opportunity to score on him in the shootout, but to score him on 5-on-5 so he could have a bit of a chance to chirp him a little bit more. Even remembered both of the times he got close hitting the post and kind of missing on a close-up shot. But either way, the thing is, he said, and I think it was quite interesting, that Connor Ingram probably really loved having everybody tell him that he sucked when they scored on him, because he loves that kind of stuff, and that's the kind of guy he is. Which brings me to the next thing I want to talk about, and that's kind of the big deal tonight going into the game. Had a lot to do with Connor Ingram. Connor Ingram, of course, was with the Predators organization for several seasons, playing in the AHL for a few of those seasons, and also playing in a few other places during COVID and things like that. It was a little bit all over the place. Either way, everybody kind of came to know and love Connor Ingram because of his story dealing with his mental health, and how he was really one of the first players to kind of stand up and talk about that kind of stuff. He really kind of confided a lot in Mark Borowiecki. Borowiecki coming out and discussing those things publicly himself really kind of made Nashville a team that was open to grown athletic men discussing that kind of stuff, which I think is a wonderful thing. But that's why I think Connor Ingram was so near and dear to the hearts of a lot of fans of the Predators, and why I think a lot of people were sad to see him go. Number one, heck of a competitor, but number two, you had a great personal story to go along with it. Now, the big question going into the game was, okay, if Connor Ingram gets the start, which he did, what's going to happen if the Predators score on him? Now, of course, historically speaking, we've seen a lot of backup goaltenders come into Nashville, or goaltenders come into Nashville and play in their first game or something like that and have a big shutout, and it looked early on like that wasn't going to happen, and it didn't. So that was a nice thing, but the question remained, when that first goal was scored against Connor Ingram, would the crowd tell him that it was all his fault and that he sucked? Now, there were a lot of opinions on this. A lot of people said, no, we can't do that. It's not the right thing to do. But even Chris Mason, former Predators goaltender and broadcaster for the team, for Bally Sports, chimed in and said, you've got to do it. It happened to him. It happened to Vakun. It's just part of the territory. When you're an opposing goaltender coming in to Bridgestone Arena, that's what's going to happen. Some people on Twitter even said that the only person that was immune from that chant would have been Pekka Rinne if for some reason he had played for another team, although I have a feeling probably after one goal of maybe not letting it happen, it would have happened anyway. But of course, Pekka Rinne retired with the Predators, played for the Predators his entire career, so that's nothing that anyone has to worry about. And of course, the only other people immune from that chant are the goaltenders playing for the Predators themselves. So what you've got to know here is that, that's part of coming into Bridgestone Arena. That's what's going to happen. Now, I think any goaltender who knows what it's like to play in Nashville knows when they end up on the other end of this coin here that's what's going to happen when they come in and play against the Predators. I don't think it's going to hurt anyone's feelings. I think they all know it comes with the territory, and I don't think Connor Ingram heard that tonight and thought to himself, oh no, they never like me. They don't like me at all. They're happy that I got scored on. Look, nobody felt that way. Everybody was really happy to see Connor Ingram. Everybody, honestly, is really happy to see Connor Ingram playing meaningful games for the Coyotes. I think they're an exciting team this season. I think they've got a really cool stadium situation, although a lot of people are making fun of it. I think it's a good time for him to be with that organization, and I like that they're showing him some confidence. He's getting to make some starts. I don't necessarily like all of the results, but for this game in particular, I will take it. Now, that brings me to the last young man I want to discuss, and that is none other than Juuso Parssinen. Now, I want to say this. As much as I mentioned Cody Glass getting the opportunity in the 7th round of the shootout, Juuso Parssinen got to go a little bit earlier. And even though he didn't make the goal, John Hines had some great things to say about Parssinen after the game, talking about how Parssinen's come in and not been sheltered at all. You've seen most guys that come up from the AHL come up and they play on the 3rd or 4th lines. They don't see big minutes. They don't see a lot of special teams minutes. They're really getting limited exposure to the NHL. Parssinen, wow, what an incredible exception, because he's playing first-line minutes, he's playing on the power play, and in his 5th game with the team, he was trusted to go in and take a shot on Connor Ingram. Now, I'll just say this. No points for Parssinen tonight, which is, I believe, a first. Since he's been up with the team, I think he's got 5 points in 4 games, or maybe now 5 points in 5 games. Either way, he's on a roll, and this kid plays like a professional. It's what his line mates are saying. It's what his coaches are saying. He looks like somebody who's been playing at the NHL level for a while. I love watching him play. I'm excited to watch him play every night. I think he's got a good hold on that first-line group. You saw a lot of shifting everywhere else. But it looks like Parssinen's going to be staying with Granlund and Forsberg for a while. I'm excited to see the results. Charlie, I know I've said a lot and I've taken up a lot of your time, but I'm going to send it back over to you.
He's the one and only Sean C. Smith. You can find him on Twitter at SCSNSH. You can find his work at AZSports.com. You can watch him right here on Renegades of Puck TV. Sure to appreciate Sean and all the work he is doing. Stripe Digital Solutions, another fantastic partner for the Renegades of Puck. StripeDigitalSolutions.com. Stripe Digital Solutions can also be found on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook. You need a strong digital partner in this world, and Stripe Digital Solutions is the strongest partner. So many things are accomplished, created, and helped and assisted by Stripe Digital Solutions. Our website, Renegades of Puck, our social media brand building and planned, and I get so much advice and assistance from Stripe Digital Solutions. That's the only way you're going to succeed if you're running a small business and you're trying to get your work out there. You can put in all the hours and you can do the best work, but if nobody ever sees it and nobody ever hears it, what are you actually accomplishing? Get a strong digital partner. Go to Stripe Digital Solutions today, and you can get yourself that partner. Let me run down the box score for you before turning it over to my real numbers, man. Matt Duchene scores a goal. Mikhail Granlund has a goal. The captain, Roman Josi, has a goal. In the assist category, we see Philip Forsberg, Mikhail Granlund, Ryan Johansson, Colton Sissons, and Roman Josi with an assist. Shots, Roman Josi led the team in shots with 8. Philip Forsberg led the forwards with shots with 5. Roman Josi tied with several other players in block shots with 2 that led the team. And in hits, Cole Smith, second game in a row, delivers a really nice big physical performance. 6 hits in only 10:58 skating time on ice. And while we're on the time on ice, Forsberg led the forwards. Yes, that's right. He was ahead of Granlund. 25:19 in total time on ice. 30:07 for the captain, Roman Josi. Wow. Impressive. 6:57 power play time. 1:19 shorthanded time on ice. 30:07 total. UC Stars 24 out of 27 in this game, and we mentioned 4 out of 7 in the shootout. Highly impressive performance by the goaltender to keep the line when the Nashville Predators didn't seem very interested in doing so. He's got the numbers you need to know and the charts you need to see from ontheforecheck.com. You can find him on Twitter at Brian Baston, and you can watch him right now on Renegades of Puck TV.
Thanks a lot, Charlie. Well, it's Top Gun night here at Bridgestone Arena, and your Nashville Predators took as long as they possibly could, but walk away winning in the shootout after 7 rounds, 4-3 over the Arizona Coyotes. Now, it did get a little bit rough, and we were all a little bit nervous there at the end as Arizona tied the game twice in the third period. However, Nashville was able to pull it out, and we're going to talk about a few things tonight that actually made the difference in this game. And that's going to be the topic of tonight's, well, several big stats. First off, we have to talk about the big one. GM David Poile has gotten his 1,500th regular season win. Ironically, I actually talked to him on the way down to the media session, and he didn't even realize it until the team had notified him about 20 seconds before I had talked to him. By any metrics, no matter how you feel personally about David Poile, he has done an amazing job, building this team from scratch. And 1,500 career regular season wins is something that is incredibly impressive. And the Predators couldn't be where they are right now without Poile in the building process. Let's talk a little bit more stats now. We saw one heck of a game from the Nashville offense tonight, and that's been a little bit of a trend. According to Natural Stat Trick, in the last 3 games for Nashville, they have had 36 high-danger chances for, averaging about 12 a game. In all of the games before the last 3, they averaged 7.8 high-danger attempts per game. So this is a team that is focusing more on shot quality, getting dangerous shots, going to the net. As we've seen for several games now, they really do enjoy getting up there, creating deflections, things like that up there right in the crease. And despite, a really good effort by former Predator Connor Ingram in net, I think he went 93%, despite giving up those 3 goals in 5-on-5. They create a lot of havoc by getting there in the high danger areas, and we can see now in these last 3 games, even though they didn't get the win against Tampa, those 3 games they still got points. And in fact, that 9 out of 10 points on this homestand is much better than the 4 out of 10 that they got on the road trip before that. Another great stat is Matt Duchene. Now, Matt Duchene and his line had some trouble, and we'll talk more about that here in the future. But Matt Duchene actually in the shootout got another goal, which actually brings him to 25 career shootout goals in a tie for 37th in NHL history, tied with the likes of a guy like Patrice Bergeron. So that's pretty impressive. Matt Duchene had a great goal in the shootout. As you know, it went 7 rounds, and we thought maybe it never would end. But that's an incredible milestone for Matt Duchene, who's had a long career. And to be mentioned in the same breath as guys like Patrice Bergeron, that's a pretty impressive stat. So hats off to Matt Duchene on that. Now, Nashville's got a lot to do. They've got to go visit. Detroit here in a couple of days, which Detroit is a team on the rise and could face a challenge before the Predators head back to Bridgestone Arena on Friday against the Colorado Avalanche at 1 p.m. I will see you there. I may be in a turkey coma, but I will see you there. And Charlie, that's the topic of tonight's several big stats. Back to you.
He's leading the analytics revolution and also leading the Renegade Analytics desk. He's got the charts you need to see and the numbers you need to know. He's the one and only Brian Baston. Sure to appreciate Brian heading on down to Bridgestone Arena, getting on the front lines and getting us the intel that we need to know when it comes to everything involving the numbers. That wraps it up for Nashville Predators talk, but I'm going to tell you right now one more thing that I want to talk to you guys about. Incredibly big weekend. Nashville Spartans hockey hosted the New Jersey Hitmen in the USPHL Elite and Premier Division hockey, taking place at the Gary Force Acura Ice Arena, Nolensville, Tennessee, just a couple of miles outside of downtown Nashville. An incredible 3-game series between the 2 teams over the weekend. Highly contested, physical hockey all weekend long. I could not be more proud to have been a part and a small part of each and every bit of it. You can see right here from the clips that I'm about to roll for you a little bit about how the weekend went. I'll go ahead and give you the summary and the sum up after we get back from that.
This is Charlie Saunier, voice of the Nashville Spartans, coming to you live from the Gary Force Acura Ice Arena here in Nolensville, Tennessee. And as you can see, the bus has pulled up to the rink. And once the teams head on inside, we're going to lock the gates on 3 solid days of USPHL action. The temperatures outside might be frigid, but inside, red hot. Elite and Premier Division hockey. We've got a doubleheader coming up tonight on Friday. We've got a doubleheader on Saturday and a doubleheader on Sunday. That's right, it's going to be a best-of-3 series between the Nashville Spartans and the New Jersey Hitmen. Come on down, join us all weekend long for USPHL Nashville Spartans hockey versus the New Jersey Hitmen. Coming to you live from the Gary Force Acura Ice Arena. Time to get inside, get in the perch, and start calling the first of our 6 games right here in Nashville. And it's 3 taps from the Spartans. I'm Charlie Saunier, voice of the Nashville Spartans, and it's time for day 2 of the 3-game series between the Nashville Spartans and the New Jersey Hitmen. We are coming to you live from the Gary Force Acura Ice Arena in Nolensville, Tennessee. 7235 Haley Industrial Drive. Come on down. Check out the Spartans in person. See the world-famous ice crew of Sheldon and Pepperack. Hear the 14,000-watt sound of Mr. Zonana. And hear the voice of the arena, Chris Martell. I'll be your voice and play-by-play narrator, storyteller, and tour guide through the Nashville Spartans live on Hockey TV. It's Spartans and Hitmen game 2 out of 3 over the weekend. Yesterday it was the Spartans falling to New Jersey in the Elite Division, but then putting up an impressive 9 goals in the Premier Division late last night, securing a big victory over the Hitmen. 1-1 on the day so far. We've got Elite Hockey coming up first today, then Premier Division tomorrow. 2 more games here at the Gary Force Acura Ice Arena. Come on down and join us. Red hot hockey action on the inside. Frigid cold temperatures out here in Middle Tennessee. We sure do look forward to seeing each and every one of you right here at the rink. I'm your host, Crazy Charlie Saunier. This is Spartans Hockey. I'm Charlie Saunier, voice of the Nashville Spartans, and it's day 3 USPHL action here in Nolensville, Tennessee. Just over my shoulder right here, you'll see the rolling hills of the beautiful Nolensville community. Frigid temperatures outside, only 26 degrees. Red hot USPHL action on the inside of the rink, the Gary Force Acura Ice Arena. Please come on down and join us for a doubleheader today, starting with Elite Division Hockey, then Premier Division Hockey. Recapping the weekend so far, Elite Nashville Spartans win yesterday, evening the series up against the New Jersey Hitmen at 1 apiece. And then in the Premier Division, the Spartans offense keeps on rolling with a 6-0 victory. DJ Lions with the shutouts. Parker, Schoner, and Bennett continue to torment New Jersey. Parker now with 5 goals in 2 games, and Schoner an offensive threat every single time he touches the puck. So far, the Spartans are 3-1 overall on the weekend. Premier 2-0, Elite 1-1. Premier has outscored the New Jersey Hitmen by a combined score over 2 games of 15-3. We're going to get over to the rink and get on inside and get the puck dropped on another great day of USPHL action on My Hockey TV. I am the voice of the Spartans, your tour guide, your narrator, and your humble witness to these hockey events, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Come on, join us at the rink. This is Spartans Hockey.
That's right. The Nashville Spartans in the Elite Division went 2-1 against the Hitmen over the weekend. They fell on Friday night, and then they won on Saturday night, and they won on Sunday morning. The Premier Division, though, absolutely steamrolled the New Jersey Hitmen, outscoring them by a combined score of 20-4, 3-0 on the weekend. DJ Lyons, netminder for the Spartans, started and won all 3 of those games, only giving up 4 goals on the weekend. Highly impressive to play that many minutes in that short amount of time. And the New Jersey Hitmen were absolutely terrorized by Schoner and by Parker. 6 goals for Parker, 4 goals for Schoner. Captain AJ Bennett out there on the blue line collecting a ton of assists. He led that team to a 3-0 record on this weekend. The clean sweep and 3 victory salutes at center ice. Highly impressive effort by the Nashville Spartans all weekend long heading into the Thanksgiving break. Great homestand by the Spartans versus the Hitmen. Great turnout, great crowd. It sure was a lot of fun. And for me, as far as being a broadcaster goes, I sure do love being the voice of the Spartans. This weekend, 6 games, 18 periods, 360 minutes, 38 goal calls. And you know what? I wasn't even tired when I was done. I couldn't wait to get back to the rink and do it again. I was so excited I came home and I recorded a podcast. As a matter of fact, it's the next day and I'm recording another podcast right now. I sure do appreciate everybody on the crew and on the staff over at the Nashville Spartans for welcoming me in, making me feel at home, and giving me a role that I believe I was truly born for. Great to meet so many of the parents, and also great to meet a couple of the players. Got a chance to shake hands with the captain, A.J. Bennett, and that's probably going to become our new post-game routine because, after all, hockey, extremely superstitious. Great to be a Spartan. Great to be involved with the USPHL and Hockey TV. Let's close out the show right here, and let's just say it's Stick Taps, love, and respect to each and every one of you. I sure do appreciate every one of you. In case you don't catch the show on Wednesday going into Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. We have so much to be thankful here in the bunker room with the Renegades of Puck. We'll just go ahead and say it. Stick Taps, love, and respect. Appreciate every one of you. Thank you so much for taking any time, supporting us, helping us along, and being part of the Renegades of Puck. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. See you in a couple of days.